Hello again and welcome to another episode of I Want to Talk About This Album. And today I'm going to cheat a little bit because I'm not going to talk about, as you can see in the title down below, I'm not going to talk about an album. I'm going to talk about some singles. To be more specific, I'm going to talk about 3 singles. These are 3 Kiss singles, the first ones that I've ever bought. I mean, I had some when I was a kid in, I don't know, 1977, maybe 78 or something. I had a few. But these are the first ones that I bought in my recent vinyl renaissance, if you want to call it that. So I'm going to talk about those today. And it's kind of a mishmash, possibly even a hodgepodge of singles and songs contained on said singles. It's a strange selection. But they're really cool. And I just bought them just because they're really cool. I bought them yesterday. For me, in real time, it was yesterday at El Chopo. And I don't know when this video is going to be up, but I bought them yesterday. And I'm very, very happy to have these because I saw these, I don't think from the same guy, but I saw these, I think about a year ago. I might have even featured them in one of my El Chopo videos. I know for sure I posted them on my Instagram at the time. And it might have been before I started buying records again. I'm not sure. But in any case, I saw them and I thought, these are really cool. But then I think there were 4 or 5 of them that I saw at El Chopo. Mexican editions, I should say. I think that'll be in the title. Depends how much space YouTube allows me to have. And I thought they were really cool, but I didn't buy them. And then I thought when I went back next time I was going to buy them, and I've never seen them again. And every time I've gone back to El Chopo since that first time, I've scoured El Chopo for them. And I guess when I say scoured, I mean I've looked, I've done this for a few minutes and haven't found them. But I saw them again yesterday. It was a different guy who had them, at least a totally different location of El Chopo. And I saw them and they got my attention because they had all these singles, the 45s. Some people call them 7-inchers, singles, 45 RPMs, whichever you prefer. I saw them like this. And in the back of the box, they had these, there was a Kiss thing standing up like that, which anything with Kiss is going to catch my attention. It turned out that those were comics. They were Psycho Circus comics. And I didn't have any interest in them, but that was what caught my attention to do this through the boxes of singles. And I found these, the 3 Kiss singles, which I'm about to talk about. And I bought them all. Now they were marked at 250 pesos each, which is pretty expensive for singles. But I asked the guy, because I was going to buy all 3, I thought maybe he'll take 200 for each. And I went up to him and I asked him, I said, can I give you 200 for each? And he looked at the back and he saw that they were 250. And he said, yeah, which made me feel like I could have, got them for cheaper. But but okay. So I got these 3 for 600 pesos total, which, as I said, for singles, that's a little bit expensive. But I think they're cool to have. And I hope this doesn't open the doors. Some might say it might even open the floodgates to me buying every stupid Kiss thing I see just because it's a little bit different. But we'll see. You know how that goes. So I'll do these, I guess, as I said, there are 3 of them. I'll do them in order, and I haven't listened to them yet. So I don't know which versions are on the records, because, there's the studio versions, the live versions. Some of them were then on double platinum or whatever, but I'm assuming that they're all studio versions. Some, I mean, they're obvious because they were not on any other compilations or anything like that. So this is, and they're all in these protective sleeves. All right, so I will take them out of the sleeves, and there it is, 250 pesotes. No, this is not okay, this is not actually a sleeve. This is like an open gatefold. All right, same thing. So this is, can you guess what this is? This is Presumido 78. Anybody, can you non-Spanish speakers, do you know what that is? Anybody? Place your bets. Tell me what you think it is. Write a comment down below in real time. I'll give you a few seconds to put what you think is Presumido 78. And if you can see the pictures from Love Gun era, maybe that's a clue or maybe not. But it's a great picture. That's a classic picture. So there it is, Presumido 78. It's got the Casablanca Records logo there. Of course, it's got the great Kiss logo. And there's the back of it. And what I love about these Mexican records, and I've got a few of them, at least two Kiss records, that they have the song titles in Spanish. So I think I've given you enough time to write your guesses for Presumido 78 down below. And it is Strutter. More specifically, it's Strutter 78, which was on on Double Platinum. A little bit of a disco version. I don't know about disco. It's kind of different. It's got, I guess the two biggest differences are overall, it just has a different tone to it. It's got a little bit of a faster hi-hat to it. And what's the other thing? I haven't really listened to this for a long time. Instead of Strutter, they say Strutter, Strutter, Strutter. They say it 3 times instead of once during the choruses, I guess. So the first track is Strutter 78. I like that song. It's hard for me to find any version better than the version on the live, and that goes with any of the songs that are on the live. I don't think there's any version of any of those songs that are better than on the live version. But Presumido 78, Strutter 78, I do like it. It's a great song. Next is, and I'll read the Spanish subtitles or the Spanish titles. Suéltame rock and roll. And that is Let Me Go rock and roll. Suéltame. This one I like. I'm not going to talk about these too much. If you want to know what I think about these songs, you can go back and listen to where applicable, or some might say applicable, to what I thought about them when I talked about their respective albums. And let me show you the actual record. There it is. I love it, man. This Casablanca logo, and the desert colors and the nice bright colors of that. It just really, it's very nostalgic for me. Let Me Go rock and roll. And I assume it is the studio version, not the live version. It must be for sure, because it's 2 minutes and 15 seconds. The live version, I think, is around 4 minutes. All right, and then this is strange that there were, now when I used to buy these singles when I was a kid, and I bought those through the mid 80s maybe even into the late 80s. I bought singles, I don't know. They only ever had 1 song on each side. All 3 of these that I'm going to talk about in this episode have 2 on each side, which equals 4 on each single, which means 12 songs I'm going to talk about total. So Lado Dos, side 2, Pistola de Amor. That's an easy one. That's Love Gun. Love Gun is one of the great Kiss songs. Yeah, I'm a little bit tired of it, but there's no denying that Love Gun is an amazing song. One of Paul Stanley's best vocals, I would even say. And then the last song on this one is Beth, which is just Beth. There's no translation for that. It is presumably the original version. I don't know if it's a version from Double Platinum. Actually, Suéltame rock and roll. Let Me Go rock and roll. Maybe it was on Double Platinum, and there were some versions that were different on Double Platinum. For some reason, Strutter was the only one that got the 78 tag on the end. They didn't call it Hard Like Woman 78. I remember that one was different. So I don't know if Love Gun is different or Beth is different. And just looking at this now, it's Hecho en 1978. These are original ones. This is 1978. Hecho en Mexico. El disco es Cultura Arte. I can't read that. That's too small. But anyway, there it is. Pretty cool. And actually, here's the if you stretch it out as a gatefold, there it is. All right, and I'll do these in chronological order. So that was that one. The next one is this one. All right, this is the 4. So I guess one song from each of the 4 solo albums, we'll call them, the Kiss albums from 1978. And let me take it out. And again, there's the price, $250. I paid $200. This also appears to be these are all like that, kind of open like this. It's not an actual sleeve. It's like a gatefold. So on this one, you can probably guess what these are. It's Radioactivo. Paul Stanley's is Abrázame, Tócame. Abrázame, Tócame. Hold Me, Touch Me. Doesn't fit at all. Abrázame, Tócame. Ace, of course. And this is a weird one. This is so weird. It's New York Groove, of course, but it's Onda Neoyorquina. Neoyorquina. And it's a very, very strange spelling. It's N, well, you can see that's how they spell it. I've never seen New York spelled like that ever. That's unusual, even by Mexican standards. But it's New York Groove. And Peter Criss's song is No Me Abandones, which is Don't You Let Me Down. No Me Abandones. So Gene's song now, you know what? Speaking of the solo albums, I've only talked about Aces. I got Aces new from Amazon, I don't know, 8 months ago, 9 months ago or something. And with the poster, and I want the poster. I may or may not have the other three. And I may or may not, if you're good, and if you want it, and if you behave yourself, I may talk about those 3 other albums at some point, the 1978 albums. So I won't talk about these too much because I don't want to give anything away, or I don't want to have any spoilers. But Radioactive is on here. I love Radioactive. I have to say, I think that song is amazing. I won't talk about anything else on the record. Paul Stanley, Abrázame, Tócame, Hold Me, Touch Me. It's a very big, kind of lush, you know, it's got, I don't know if it's real strings or synthesizer strings and piano and everything. I don't know, it's not the best, maybe it's not only not the best song on the album, it's maybe my least favorite on Paul Stanley's album, which I may talk about at some point. Aces, Onda Neoyorquina. I like that song a lot. I've always liked it. I got a little bit tired of it at some point, I guess, but I do love New York Groove. To the left and to the right, buildings towering to the sky. It's out of sight in the dead of night. Ace loves to act out. He's a very good mime, I guess. He's always doing that. You know, he's always pointing. And 2,000, man. Yeah, 2,000. In case you don't know what the number 2 looks like. And then the last one, Peter Criss, No Me Abandones. Don't You Let Me Down. Oh God, this song sucks. This album sucks. It's so bad. Yeah. So that's Peter Criss. So there it is, and some cool photos of the 4 members of Kiss on the cover of this 7-inch 45 RPM single. Cool. And then the last one, I think I like this one the best, at least in terms of how it looks. As you can see, it's from Unmasked. And let me take it out of its sleeve. 250 pesos again, or 200 as I paid. And let me open it up. And by the way, they all look the same. They're all, the second one, the solo albums, they all have the Casablanca Records logo. There it is. Now this one has a strange mix of songs. And it's such a small thing, but I think this is my favorite Kiss logo. The one that goes from red to purple. You know, there's one that goes from red to yellow, or red, orange, yellow, something like that. Sometimes it's white, sometimes it's that you know, the glitter. But I think it's my favorite, the red to purple. And I mentioned this when I talked about Unmasked. I love the Unmasked album cover. I think it's an amazing, amazing album cover. I would say as good as any of the first 6. So this has, this also has, contiene los éxitos de la película Kiss en el infierno del rock, which is a little bit, I'm not sure if I understand it. It says that contiene los éxitos de la película. I'm not sure what, a película is like a movie, like a film. I'm not sure what they're talking about. It says this contains the hits from the film, and then it's got Kiss en el infierno del rock. I'm not sure what that means. Infierno is like hell, in rock hell. I'm not sure. Maybe any of my Mexican viewers can give a better translation for that. For me, it's a little bit odd. It doesn't really translate properly. And then the song titles, these ones are straight. They're Shandy. I'll give them to you in English first this time. These are taken from 4 different albums, 4 songs from 4 different albums. Shandy from Unmasked, Mr. Make Believe from Gene's 1978 album, and then side 2 is Firehouse from the first album, and Rock and Roll All Night from Dressed to Kill. Now the Spanish titles are Shandy is Shandy, Mr. Make Believe is El Señor Ilusiones, Firehouse is Estación de Bomberos, and Rock and Roll All Night is, and I love the way they spelled it. They spelled it, they gave the Mexican the Spanish spelling. Rock and Rollando toda la noche. It's spelled like this. The Suéltame Rock and Roll was spelled as rock and roll, but this one they gave it the Mexican spelling. I'm not sure why. So Shandy, I like Shandy. I talked about Unmasked some months ago, and I like Shandy. I know that's a kind of a maligned album, and I think Shandy is kind of hit or miss for a lot of people. I like Shandy, no problem with it anyway. Next is Mr. Make Believe, or El Señor Ilusiones from Gene's album. Again, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give any spoilers as to what I think about Gene's album. Some of you may already know, but let's just say I love Mr. Make Believe more than you might know. You might be surprised how much I love Mr. Make Believe. And then Lado Dos Side 2 is Firehouse. Presumably it's the original version from the first album. I like Firehouse. It's Lilia, my ex-wife. I don't know if it's her number 1 Kiss song, but it's in her very, very top 3, top 5 for sure. Maybe even number 1. And I do like Firehouse. Great solo. Is that the one? Ooh yeah. Yeah, Firehouse is great. Not as good as the version from Alive, of course, as I mentioned earlier. And then Rock and Rolleando Toda la Noche, Rock and Roll All Night. What are you gonna say about this one? It's maybe for me the song that I'm most burnt out of any song, not just Kiss songs. And again, not as good as the live version, but I loved it when I was a kid. Yeah, so there it is. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning, there were, I remember seeing 4 or 5 of these singles when I saw them originally a year ago, whenever that was. I would like to find them. Hopefully one day I will. I'll be back at El Chopo, by the way, on... I think I'm going to see a concert, Dirty Sound Magnet, on Friday, March 22nd. So I think I should be at El Chopo Saturday, March 23rd. I've kind of always got my eye open for these, or for anything Kiss related. So there you go. There they are, 3 really cool, Mexican Kiss singles that I'm very happy to have. I like them. I hope I'm not going down a big hole with these. But there you go. 3 very cool vintage Kiss 7-inch 45 RPM singles. Yes,